Hello again, everyone. I'm entering another contest here on YouTube. This one is sponsored by Rachel's MusicMam LiveStreams. Now, I've known Rachel a little while now from the vinyl community, and she's just reached 1,000 subscribers, which is great. She is celebrating with this contest called It's Only Words, and she would like people to show her 5 records from which you love the lyrics. And I've always been kind of a lyrics guy. I've always appreciated the band lyrics as well as the music. And so I'm going to show you 5 records with lyrics that I've always loved. And so here we go. Okay, let's start off with my first lyrical content choice. My favorite band of all time, Devo. And this is their 1981 New Traditionalist album. Promo copy, as you see there. Now, there's a couple of songs on here that lyrically really grabbed me. And one of them I want to mention is Love Without Anger. And there's just one particular line in that song that really hit home with me when I was a kid. And it was the line, "Why believe in things that make it tough on you?" I always loved that one particular line out of that song. Now, as far as entire lyrical content goes, this first song here, Through Being Cool, really hit me right square between the eyes. And I'm going to read those lyrics to you right now as you gaze upon this beautiful cover art. We're through being cool. Eliminate the ninnies and the twits. Going to bang some heads, going to beat some butts. Time to show those evil spuds what's what. If you live in a small town, you might meet a dozen or two. Young alien types who step out and dare to declare, we're through being cool. Spank the pank who tried to drive you nuts. Time to clean some house. Be a man or a mouse. Waste those who make it tough to get around. If you live in a big place, many factions underground, chase down Mr. Hinky Dink so no trace can be found. If you live in a big place, many factions underground, chase down Mr. Hinky Dink so no trace can be found. We're through being cool. Eliminate the ninnies and the twits. Put the tape on erase. Rearrange a face. We always liked Picasso anyway. If you live in a small town, you might meet a dozen or two young alien types who step out and dare to declare, we're through being cool. Now, Mr. Hinky Dink, the character in that song, Devo, at some point back then, and at the height of their career, they were explaining Mr. Hinky Dink to be, unfortunately, those people who are in control. So that's the man for you, Mr. Hinky Dink. Now, moving right along, I just want to mention, before we put this one away, this month, August, is the 40th anniversary of this album. So as a little nod to that, I'm going to show you another version of this record. This is a German pressing, and as you can see, totally different cover photo there. But interesting that they chose this as the front cover photo for the German pressing, and on the back, you'll see what is typically the front cover. Now, moving right along to my next selection, another album I discovered when I was very young, Dead Kennedys, In God We Trust, Incorporated. This came out in 1982. Really blew me away. I mean, just the cover art alone spoke to my Catholic damage that I was kind of dealing with at the time. And there's one song in particular that really hit home with me personally, and it was called Hyperactive Child, because I was actually diagnosed with hyperactivity when I was a kid. I took medication for it. And so, wow, I couldn't believe there was actually a song about me, right? So let me read you the lyrics of Hyperactive Child as you gaze upon the wonderful artwork that I'm holding here. All right, here we go. I'm tired of kissing ass. I can't sit still all day. You know I know your school's a lie. That's why you dragged me here. You're a hyperactive child. You're disruptive. You're too wild. We're going to calm you down. Now this won't hurt a bit. Drag me to the floor, pulling down my pants. Ram a needle up my butt, put my brain into a trance. No more hyperactive child. Got too much of a mind. Wouldn't you rather be happy? Now this won't hurt a bit. Cameras in the halls. No windows, just brick walls. Pledge allegiance to a flag. Now you will obey. Holy man. That really got to me. That was golden when I was a kid. Golden. Now, next up, the 80s continue. The 80s really struck me lyrically for some reason. And, when Rachel mentioned this contest, there were a few that came to mind immediately. And this is, of course, one of them. It's the Fix album, Walkabout. And there's a song on here called Sense the Adventure. Sense the Adventure. And when I heard this song, like the Dead Kennedys album cover art, it spoke to my Catholic damage. And I want to share with you the lyrics now as we look upon this fantastic album cover. And again, this is The Fix, and the song is called Sense the Adventure. Are you locked in the paranoia? You should enjoy the sense of doubt. Breaking down the walls of institution, I'm going to let my paganism out. A god of light, baron of evil, supposed to show me hallowed ground, but these are monsters we created to civilize our primal shouts. Sense the adventure, let those feelings out. Sense the adventure, let the pagan out. Now, just because you have your answers, it should not mean my views are seen in vain. An earthly bid for resurrection will never soothe the human pain. Sense the adventure, let those feelings out. Sense the adventure, let the pagan out. No war of rights to battle angels will ever justify these ends. Please recognize yourself and others. A generation makes amends. Are you locked out in no direction? You could escape to feed the mind. To an untrodden field of vision, sensitivity will find. Sense the adventure, let those feelings out. Sense the adventure, let the pagan out. Fantastic. I mean, the Fix. Wow. They are one of the best. One of the best, lyrically and otherwise. Now, this next one is kind of a whole different head here. It's a whole different bowl of boogers, really. And it's by a guy named Wesley Willis. Now, this is his greatest hits album. He put out many albums, mostly which were self-produced, CD releases or cassettes or whatever. And he was a schizophrenic. He is no longer with us, unfortunately. He passed away some years ago. And this album here, there's a caricature of him. Now, this album here has a lot of songs, but the one that really kind of grabbed me lyrically was a song called, and here it is right here. Where is it? Here. I Whooped Batman's Ass. I Whooped Batman's Ass. Now, as you gaze upon this album cover art, I'm going to take you through the lyrics. I Whooped Batman's Ass by Wesley Willis. 1995, by the way. Batman got on my nerves. He was running me amok. He ridiculed me, calling me a bum. I whooped Batman's ass. Batman thought he was bad. He was a fucking asshole in the first place. He got knocked to the floor. I whooped Batman's ass. Batman beat the hell out of me and knocked me to the floor. I got back up and knocked him to the floor. He was being such a jack-off. I whooped Batman's ass. Rock over London, rock on Chicago, Wheaties, breakfast of champions. Now, how can you compete with those lyrics? You really can't. I mean, you talk about some deep meaning. He whooped Batman's ass, knocked him to the floor. I mean, come on, come on. So how am I going to end this whole thing here? How? With what? With what could I end this with? Well, I'll show you. I'll show you. It's right here. It's a record by a band I love called Sockeye. And now Sockeye, they were a bunch of weirdos from Ohio. They had a genre of music that people often called tardcore. It was just ridiculously juvenile, taboo, worthless humor, except that it made me laugh a lot. So there's a certain song on this record, and I love the lyrics, and it's called Boy with Breast Implants. Okay, so now that you've heard the title, you probably want to hear the lyrics. So here we go. Ready? Boy with Breast Implants by Sockeye. Little boy no older than 6, who is teased daily by all the school bully pricks, because at his age, most youth are endowed with a pair of tits that would make Dolly Parton proud. He was a boy with breast implants. This thing that he felt haunted him day and night, and nary a day went by without him being in a fight, because his old school chums all had such nice tits, but from this boy's chest no jugs would admit. He was a boy with breast implants. Father was sad, and then he got sore. He took to calling all his boys' schoolmates a whore. But Daddy knew actions speak louder than words, and a boy with no breasts is kind of absurd. He was a boy with breast implants. So Mr. Simmons got his boy some implants and some new Levi's 501 button-fly pants. And now all the kids at school are envious as snot because of the jugs young Timmy has got. He was a boy with breast implants. So everybody, thank you for letting me read some lyrics to you that have really touched me over the years. Here's all those records again. And Rachel, congrats on 1,000 subs. And everybody, thank you for subbing me up. Thanks for the likes on the videos. May the rock and roll gods bless you as they've blessed me. We'll see you next time.